Today I'm going to show you how I print these underglaze patterns on the insides of these plates and dishes using EZScreen stencils. You can also print on the outside of mugs, you can print with glaze, you can print with slip, along with many other things, but let's get into it. I start by rolling out a slab on my handy dandy slab roller that I purchased on Etsy. Once my slab is rolled out to the thickness that I like, which is usually about 1/2 inch, I'll smooth both sides with a rib and then I'll paint on a background color if I want one. I use underglaze or colored slip, and I try to use a soft brush at least at the end so that it is as smooth as possible. I'll set it aside to dry just enough that it doesn't smudge when I touch it, and then the next step is to print. This is an EZScreen stencil. There are loads of pre-made designs on their site, or you can turn your own designs into stencils with a kit. As a printing medium, you can use slip, underglaze, or glaze, but you want to thicken it so that it is a peanut butter or pudding consistency. This keeps it from bleeding underneath the stencil. Amico sells these pre-thickened ceramic printing inks. They work awesome, but you can also thicken your own underglazes using CMC powder or by letting the water evaporate out. I like to just scoop the underglaze right onto my rib and then use that to push the underglaze through the stencil, making sure that I've covered all of the clay with a fairly firm pressure. I then peel the stencil off and set it in some water until I'm ready to rinse it out. To make sure that I don't accidentally smudge the underglaze design during the next steps, I like to use plastic kitchen wrap or rice paper. I just lay it right on top and gently press it down so that it protects my design. I do the next step on my wheel. I recently bought this Wa2 system from GR Pottery Forms and I love it, so that is what I'm going to use to shape this slab into a shallow dish. It uses a keyhole system and they have a bunch of different sizes of slump molds that you can attach to it. It's really handy. You could also use a regular slump mold if you don't have one of these yet. I'll lay my slab on top of the mold after I've clicked it in, trying to make sure it's as centered as possible, and then I'll use a sponge to compress the slab over the form. Because my slab wasn't perfectly round, as I've compressed, I've got this kind of wobbly edge around the outside of my piece. I just use a needle tool to trim that off so that I've got a nice even rim. However, you could leave it on and have a cool kind of asymmetrical piece. I'll then re-smooth the rim to get rid of any sharp edges. If you want to add a foot to your piece, that is also really easy. I usually just score the bottom and then trim off a little coil from the rim of my piece and then attach it to the bottom and compress it with my sponge. Once I'm done with all of that, I can just lift the mold right off this Wa2 system and let it dry until it's a little bit past leather hard. Once it's dried, I'll lift it off the mold and peel the plastic wrap off and then let it finish drying. These EZScreen stencils make it so simple to print your designs and patterns on the insides of these bowls and plates, and I've also had a ton of fun using them to print on mugs and vases just for some extra surface texture and interest. If you want to know how to turn one of your own designs into a stencil, you can click the recommended video after this one, and we also have a lot of other cool tutorial and technique videos using our stencils on our YouTube channel and social medias. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and thanks for watching.